Now that we know the difference between rote learning and elaborative encoding, let's look at how we can attach meaning to things we are going to memorize by chunking similar material, finding a relationship between things, and using etymologies, or the way words, especially scientific terms, are constructed. Chunking is essentially grouping material into small blocks so that memory can handle them. We have done some of it already when we divided the emotions into 3 groups. But this was an intuitive chunking, maybe a bit too personal. What we need to do is go back to the source of this material and see how it is organized, and then ask questions to make sure we have a good sense of what is going on. This way, what started as a blob of disjointed pieces of information will shape itself into something structured. And with a structure, we have both manageable chunks and a map of how the material is organized. Often these relationships won't be obvious. In that case, follow the structure of your lecture or textbook. But do not just copy something you do not understand. Use your brain. Think about the material and find out how the different parts are related. Is there a causal relationship between things? In our case, do some emotions lead to others? Or is there another kind of structure you can think about? Maybe the material is structured hierarchically, and some emotions are more dominant or more general than others. Another thing that can be helpful is etymology, the knowledge of how a word was created. In the sciences, many words contain Latin and Greek prefixes and suffixes. The prefix ana means up or above, so anabolic will mean an increase in metabolism. Kata means down, cation is a negatively charged ion. The word crypto will mean hidden, cryptomnesia is hidden memory. Do you know what hyper means? What about heliotrope? If all else fails, you can create your own etymologies. If the word phylogenesis reminds you of your grandmother's phyllo dough, go for it. In our case, the textbook gives us a pretty clear idea of how the emotions are structured. We have 2 large groups of emotions, positive and negative. There are 2 major positive emotions, love and joy, and 3 major negative ones, anger, sadness, and fear. In this scheme, all other emotions belong under these 5 major emotions. The chunking has its own logic, but in order to better understand it, we should probably find out more about this model. What is the reasoning behind breaking down emotions into positive and negative? Are some emotions related? Are they mutually exclusive? And what about emotions in different cultures? Does this model address how all people feel, or is it limited to specific groups? It's also possible there are competing models of the emotions. Maybe it would be a good idea to learn about these, even if we just glance at an article in Wikipedia. We have looked at making our memory encoding more meaningful by chunking, creating relationships, and using etymologies. Can you think of your own strategies to make a meaningful, elaborative encoding? Now, let us look at the second step in building a strong memory, which consists in visualizing things.